Well, the Browns offseason program is underway, Mary Kay, and of course we got to hear today from Kevin Stefanski, Denzel-Ward, Amari-Cooper, Jacoby Brissett. This was really the first day we've gotten to hear from these guys, a lot of these guys, since the Deshaun Watson trade. Kevin was mum on the suspension about Deshaun Watson. I would expect that going throughout this process, but I did think it was interesting what he was saying about the offense, Deshaun being adaptable, him being adaptable, and just sort of how this all might look.
Yeah, I think that's vitally important. They are very willing to solicit input from Deshaun Watson to make sure that he feels super comfortable in this offense and to do the things that he does best. That is a point of emphasis. And if you recall, that was a problem with Baker Mayfield throughout all of last season. He really did not feel like he was being showcased or his strengths were being played to. So this is something that's really going to be, just taken very, very seriously throughout the season, and I think that was one of the things that stood out today.
And it really felt like everybody we heard from today, the players we heard from, were excited to have Deshaun in the building. Denzel-Ward was excited. Amari-Cooper, who we're going to get to, was also very excited. Some people were texting him and saying he was lucky to be playing with Deshaun Watson. So you could kind of sense that excitement from the players that were here and that we heard from today that Deshaun is in the building.
Yes, you know what? I think Kevin Stefanski is very pleased with the way that Deshaun Watson has been interacting with his teammates and the way that they have received him. They seem to be embracing him. They seem to be, taking him for his word and really just taking him in as a teammate, taking him under their wing. They're becoming friends. Denzel even told us how Miles and Deshaun are planning some trips to get some camaraderie between the offense and the defense. So they're all working hard at this.
Now, I mentioned Amari-Cooper. We got to hear from him today as well. It's the first time we've gotten to talk to him since he was traded here. Man, did his world change, right? He goes from Dallas to Cleveland, then he goes from Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson. But again, you could just sort of sense with Amari that he was excited about the opportunity here and excited about the targets that might come his way here.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he got a lot more excited when he was in Dubai 6 days after he got traded to the Cleveland Browns and found out that Deshaun Watson was coming. Your world changes a little bit when you go from Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. So he's going to get a ton of targets. He's going to be the #1 receiver on this football team. He's very excited about it, and those two plan to spend time working together extra in the offseason.
And he also said that, he's ready to be a leader, right? In that young receiver room. We've talked about it so much on podcasts and videos. He's ready to be one of the leaders in that room. And then, of course, we heard from Jacoby Brissett, who he's going to be important. And I think, what really stood out to me is he's a grown-up in that quarterback room. That was the talk before Deshaun Watson was brought here, getting grown-ups, and I think he's a guy that knows his role. But if they need him, he's going to be ready.
He really will be, and he's got a lot of starts under his belt. And so, the moment won't be too big for him. And the important thing that they have tried to do with the quarterback room is they have guys with similar skill sets in there. And it should be a seamless transition when they go from Jacoby, if they do, from Jacoby to Deshaun or even Josh. They will be able to kind of just go from one to the other and do the same kinds of things, and that's important.
Okay, one last thing. Denzel-Ward, as I mentioned, we heard from him, gets that extension signed. He's talked about, now he's got to continue to work and continue to show why he earned it. But again, just a really great story. Denzel-Ward grew up here, drafted here, and now he's going to stay here.
Yeah, it is really great for him and for the Cleveland Browns. It's a good feel-good story in an offseason where there has been some turbulence and some drama and some controversy. So to have a hometown guy like that get a contract like this and want to give everything to his hometown team, again, it speaks well to the Browns. It speaks well to him. And I think he will step up in two ways, both on and off the field this year.
Well, the calendar has officially flipped to the 2022 football season. And of course, we'll have everything covered that happened here today and all year long at cleveland.com/Browns.